Cash is king. So what do we mean by this? Why do you hear this saying so many times, and why is it so important? Cash really is king in a business, but you should probably look at cash as being king in your personal wealth building journey as well. So I'll explain why it's king in a business and what they mean by this, and then how you can use this knowledge to help yourself grow and become wealthy. So in a business, what they mean by cash is king is if a business does not have enough cash, it's going to go into liquidation, it's going to go bankrupt, right? So imagine that might be an obvious thing to say, but let me just explain. Let's say there's a company that's making millions of pounds of profit. They're growing astronomically and they're doing really well. But the problem is they have invested all of their cash all over the place, so they've got nothing left to get by on. And then their creditors are due for payment next week. They're unable to pay their payroll. In this context, it doesn't matter how much profit the company is making. That company is technically insolvent. It is the definition of insolvency for a company is that it's unable to pay its liabilities as they fall due. So if there are creditors that are due tomorrow, but next week they're getting another £1 million worth of profit, this is an extreme scenario, then as an example, they are still insolvent, okay? So this is why cash is king. The directors in a company have a special responsibility to keep an eye on the cash, to make sure the company is solvent. And they have to do assessments about the going concern, which concerns the cash and how they can pay their creditors. I've done a separate video on going concern. It's on my channel. Please feel free to have a look at that. I'll link it in the description below. So how can you apply this to your personal life? In a business, like, they don't want to invest so much cash that they can't get by, and they can't grow, they can't continue to evolve and function. So in your personal life, you want to just try and keep cash for opportunities. The way that some of the successful investors have got where they are is because they kept a chunk of cash and they're waiting for an opportunity. You might say they're like a bit sharkish. It's like right now, the property market in the UK is a nightmare. And if you've had your property on the market for a while, you get these letters from these sharky sort of investors saying, "Hi, can I offer you cash for your property?" This is what they do. They keep cash to try and get bargains, and then they're going to make even more money on that asset. So just as an example, further sort of insight for you, my understanding is that Warren Buffett has got an enormous amount of cash right now sitting in his companies. He's got a record level of cash, so he's waiting for something. And a lot of the investors are saying that the stock market's going to drop and things like this. So this is what the investors do, the successful investors. So I want to share with you that cash really is king. You need to look after it. And if you want your money to grow, try and keep a bit of it aside so that you can quickly take advantage of opportunities as they appear to you. So hope you found this video helpful and insightful. Perhaps if you did, you could give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I've linked my blog below. There's lots of tips and tricks on how you can trade. So just to give you an example as well of how I made use of this, I kept some money aside. I kept some money aside for when the stock markets were going to drop, and Google dropped right down not so long ago, and it made an absolutely enormous return. It made a return of about 90%. Capital growth in the space of about 6 months, I think it was. And but with the way I trade the stock markets, I made 180% return on that money. So I took advantage of the opportunity, waited for the right moment, and then I put a good chunk of money in there, and I got a massive return. If you want to understand how I trade and make returns on the stock market, you can get that on my channel. But that's just an example for you. I can't remember where it dropped to. I think it was... I can have a look at the chart. Might do a separate video on that for you, of where I got in and out on Google. I'll put that on my list to do that, so just to explain to you. So and I'll link it in the description below once I've done that. So hope you found this video helpful, and talk to you guys later. Bye.